Assets to the human family should be all around us, whether they be little kids or poor people or people with disabilities or people who are incarcerated or people who've lost their jobs or the elderly. These are not liabilities to manage unless we've got our priorities mixed up. What I learned growing up was that conservatives may be good with money and they may be hard-headed in public policy, but they don't care about poor people. I carried that viewpoint all the way through my 20s, but when I started to study economics for the first time in my late 20s, I was shocked to learn that it was traditionally conservative ideas that had done more to lift people out of poverty than traditionally liberal ideas. It was a real revelation to me that it was globalization and free trade and the American free enterprise system spreading around the world that had pulled 2 billion people out of poverty. I started to scream from the rooftops that the way you wipe out poverty is with free enterprise, and people said, well, I guess you're a conservative. And after a while I said, I guess I am. The question is, what do you do? You can't just say nothing. What conservatives need to do is basically 3 things. We need to declare peace on the safety net, but number 2, only for people who are in poverty. And the third, and this is arguably the most important, and this is the conservative advantage, is to emphasize work. We have to have a culture that says just because you don't have a college education, just because you have vocational skills doesn't make you any less valuable to our society and any less moral worth to the work itself. Yet that is, of course, what we do. I mean, you'll get a dead-end job if you don't go to college. That is not only wrong, it must be wrong. Every job is important, and there's equal moral worth. This should be part of our national philosophy between running a hedge fund and trimming hedges. We discriminate against poor people up one side and down the other. If you want to braid hair in your home, no harsh chemicals, you want to do hair braiding, which, by the way, this is not a trivial example. This is a typical first job for single moms who are poor. You need 1,500 hours to get your license. It takes about a year. That's discrimination, and that's un-American. There's something not right when it's too hard to get ahead, to go from the bottom to the middle class in this country, where there's a greater sense of mobility in other countries out of poverty than there is in the United States today. An enlightened society, an enlightened American society, doesn't see poor people as liabilities to manage. It sees poor people as assets to develop. For that matter, there's nobody in society who's not an asset to develop. This is how the country was founded. Nobody should be left behind morally, but also it's a stupid thing to do economically.